Speak up.
I'm Nicole Denver, kind of the Denver. We want to stop and we're in Grand Rapids. We're pretty new. We got our first islands in 2021. And we are still trying to grow our herd. We'd like to sell feed and potentially like show prospect, breeding stock. We have a couple of herefords that we'd like to cross. They're two bred for their first house cows. So vocational raising. We're like first generation farmers, sixth generation. We're Kyle and Katie Baker, Glory Oaks Farm, which is just south of the Iowa-Minnesota border. We have about 17 animals right now. Primarily raise them for breeding stock, beef, and then we show. So we have 2 young kids. Do a lot of showing with them. Looking at adding some more this year. So it's just love.
Hi, Todd Jimmy Green. We are Mid Lakes Highlands. We are in Medora, Wisconsin. This is Miller Cross. We've had Highlands since 2020. We bought 3 animals when Ledyard Farms out in New York sold out. Our main focus is showing and breeding stock. We sold our first live animal at the national sale, first live female, I should say. We've sold several bulls into herds in Oklahoma, Arkansas, Georgia, Colorado, and North Carolina, I guess. So, and we've sold embryos now for the last 2 or 3 years out of our breeding stock. That is on the North Central board. I am a member of the ACA board as well as the executive committee. And I'm thrilled we have this many people here. I want to shout out to Michelle, which is so organized for me to do things so early. But it should be a good event.
It's hard to follow up Midway.
Oh, yeah.
Jason Pulse, Julianne Lotus, we're Midway Meadows. 2010 started with 4 cows, but no idea about genetics or anything. I got lucky, they were showing both on. Cows and genetics and started out right by mere luck. Let's grown to about 55 or just slightly 60 cows now. And we've jumped both feet into AI and embryos and had some pretty good luck with that. Emphasized beef mostly. We're just 15 minutes down the road. So this Duluth market for us has been spectacular. We're selling beef, just being so close to. I don't know, there's not many farms around it. So really, we should do more of it. We can never fill our orders, but yeah, we had, it's been fun. Julianne came on board in 2018 and he's been NCHCA's treasurer and recently moved to a soil and water conservation district supervisor, so she let that go. Having fun with that. Just got a grant from the state of Minnesota for a new winter feedlot. So we submitted, somehow I guess we've gotten okay at grant as a grant. So, don't be afraid. It's crazy. There's so many out there on the grant side, and they're willing to give them the money away. So we're excited for that. No big plans this year.
Awesome.
Glad to be here. Yeah, what a great show. Awesome.
I'm Josh Sasson. I'm with Larry and Cindy Sasson. I'm their son. That's my wife. I'm my son Dylan. We're with Boulder Meadow Highlands. How many highlands we got right now there? Oh, 71. Well, 71. Yeah, what we've had. So
About 70.
so beef, little feeders. So what else you want to add to that?
You've been doing it for 20 years.
Next week will be our 20th year.
I remember that day when we first went and picked up those Highlands too.
Mm. Wow.
Wow.
15 below when we picked up.
Classic.
Trailer load.
Oh, man.
One of the calves was laying upside down underneath her house when we unloaded it. We were afraid that.
Oh.
Good morning, I'm Jean Greener. My husband Richard, we're from 40 Acres down in Burlington. We've been doing this when we retired, we were doing it 21 years. We still have a lot of contacts. We still have people making phone calls to us. We help whenever we can. We've been out and doing and promoting. We're part of several other organizations. And like he said, get involved with your county ag board.
Amen.
They have helped us immediately. No, immensely. It's great. I mean, there is money out there to be had if you use it right. Think about it. Get a hold of your board. They've treated us right. And if your banker knows you and knows what you're doing, they are a big help also. And looking forward to seeing and meeting the new people here. Anytime we go anywhere, we have to travel. It's 5-6 hours home, and any place we go is travel, but we love it. And I miss the people. Our cows are all over the country, have been for years. And it's nice to know we have people contacting us yet that say, look at this calf that she gave us. I love it. I absolutely
You
love
made
it.
a difference.
Yes.
Yes, you did.
Enjoy and head out to the convention in Pennsylvania.
Oh, yeah.
Who's next?
Hi, I'm Diane Clark with Highlands in the Hollow. Is that coming correct?
Hold it close.
Highlands in the Hollow in Waverly, Tennessee. I'm on about 212 acres, started with Angus, even worse, Key Angus. And had to bring something with personality on the property, so the Highlands came. The idea was the Highlands would be kind of the novelty herd, and the Black girls would make their living. It's kind of opposite that now. My husband says that Highlands multiply more than rabbits. He just doesn't know I'm buying a bunch of them. So the office site says I have 60 some, and I know I have a few more that haven't made a presence yet. So they greatly outbuy the Angus, but black livestock matters, so I keep them. Anyway, we do the cattle, raise hay, and road fences. Luckily, I'm in a place with abundance of water. So everything just kind of happens and coexists. I'm your current ACA national president. And luckily, I've got people like Jenny over there on the board and good representatives from your region also. Anyway, it's a pleasure to be up here.
Thank you.
I am Taylor Mills. I'm Tammy. Most of you probably just know me and my dad. We show a lot all over the country. I started out showing the cobblestone heifer, and then the past few years I've been showing genetics. So we have in total about 40-ish islands. We've been doing it for like 6 years or so. So we do a lot of rotational grazing, showing beef production. We have hogs and stuff too, so we work. That's oh, exactly. Sorry. Excess.
Hi, I'm John Keith, JRT Highlands. We're in southeast Missouri. Here.
Yeah.
We're registered our first animal in 2004, so we've been doing it since then, raising essentially breeding stock and showing some cattle, but Sharon, organization.
Morning, everybody. I'm Doug Alder. This is my wife Terry. We're with Jack Pine Cattle based out of Mackin, Minnesota. So we're about an hour north of town here. So for us, this is a nice local short drive. Thanks for agreeing to do the meeting up here. We're relatively new to the association. Got our first Highlands and joined maybe 3 years ago now, something like that. So we're still a pretty small outfit, but we're growing and having fun and learning all the time.
My name is Jason Elstrom. My dad and mom and I started this, I don't know, 15 years ago, probably. We started out with two cow-calf pair, Highlands. We typically raise for meat and sell the stock we don't need. Our name is Broken Wagon Farm because most of the stuff we have has been salvaged out of the scrapyard to start. So, but that's what we do.
Tina Broderick. From Tabletop Acres, we're about half hour north of Green Bay. We got our first Highland cattle in 2019. Have been slowly growing our herd. We have 15 Highlands living in that, and my daughter recently Rich White's working on kind of the elements of crossbreeding here. We have sold a couple, just getting to that point where we're doing that versus we do beef and starting to just sell a little bit for breeding stock.
Good morning, I'm Britt and John, we're from Northwest Minnesota, within from the border, last year, from the Hipper Heifer. We're around with everything about 100, we've had a couple on the show circuit, we do not show, because they ask somebody else for us. We are extremely busy, but we sell beef, in cow-calf pairs, and then we run together businesses besides. So, if you ever have a chance to come our way, John will give you a ride with our Clydesdales on the wagon, we'll sell you some beer in the morning and put you up at our hotel.
Awesome.
Hi, I'm Randy Johnson. My husband, Mark Johnson, we're planning some farm in Harris, Minnesota, which is about 100 miles south. So we're not too far. We got our first animals in 2013, and right now we have about 15. We raise them primarily for breeding stock. We sell some beef, but our focus has really shifted to the raising. Our son Joe is the one that does a lot of the work. And hopefully he will show up here sometime. We have been involved with ACA and North Central since we got in 2014. ACA had their national convention here. And so we came, and that was the first we met people from North Central and from ACA and realized what great thing it can be to be involved in this association, how much you can learn and how much you can learn. So we are very involved with North Central and ACA. Mark just got done serving 6 years on the national board, serves in leads and committees. I'm on 10 million committees. So we're just very committed to the associations as a way to help with us and our program.
This is a really good ranch. We are just a little ways north of Deer River, Minnesota, which is about 2 hours north of here. We got into Highlands back in 2013, and so primarily did in job. We do rotation break into. We're also on the food committee and the discipline.
My views, my wife Sherry and my son Patrick, for Gypsy Ridge Farm, we're down in Fur Lake, Wisconsin. A couple hours south of here, so We raised predominantly that's kind of our, you know.
I'm Cindy Whiteman, and this is my son Ryan, and his wife Emily, and our grandson William. And we own Sean Bowden Farms. We started Islands in 1981. We sold almost 800 animals over the years.
Wow.
We currently have 39 head left. We sell breeding stock, and we were selling lots of beef when we lived in the Twin Cities. We just lived in Osceola, Wisconsin. Roger was on the board of directors for ACA many years, and he was president of this association a couple times, and I was treasurer for a few years, so we've been involved a lot. We went to our first North Central meeting in 1981, 1982, something like that.
Indeed, the founding member, aren't you? North Central or Minnesota?
No, I think someone else had been there first, like the Rymans had been there first, and we.
Sorry.
Close enough.
Yeah, that North Central as it is now, used to be the Minnesota Highland Association, and there was the Wisconsin Highland Association. Then the two combined became the North Central Association.
And he's kind of like our story, got a lot of information.
Hi, Rocky Bozer from Rolling Acres Island. We're just south of Brainerd near Piers. We have Highlands since about 10 years now. This is my wife Lori, by the way. We basically sell beef and peppers, I guess. We try to keep it as organic as possible. I'm not a good speaker, so I'll pass it on.
Hi, I'm Greg. This is Joanne, my wife. We are from Bent Creek Farms. We're about 45 minutes south of here. So ditto, wonderful to have it close by the meeting. We've been around since about 2017. Breeding stock, a little bit of beef. We do have 5 dogs and 4 mini donkeys as well to keep us busy. Started in about 2017. We had about 16 head.
Nick Fink and Laura, we own Kettle Country Highland. We have about 10 cows right now. We've only been in about 2 years, switched everything over to registered stock within the last year. So it's been very busy. We've enjoyed it and look forward to meeting and talking to new people and learning more.
Tony and Michelle Letourneau, and we're from Little House and Farm, and that's in Hinckley, which is about halfway between Duluth and the cities, kind of along 35. If you're ever in the area, come and visit. There's nothing I like better than visiting with other Highland people. It's just my favorite thing. But we started in 2020, and about halfway through, we switched over to all registered, and we've sold some beef. We do a lot of rotational grazing, done some work with soil and water, and that I'll piggyback on that. That's just a great way to get a leg up and get yourself going in the direction that you want to go. If you haven't come from like a family line of farmers, great resource there. And our goal is to raise brood stock. We've finally got some fancy heifers that we can AI, and so that's the path we're headed down, and could not do it without this organization. I just love all of you guys, and I love the organization. I'm so happy to be here.
Good morning, my name is Jan Larson. I am with Larson's Pet Acres. I live in Burlington. My son and the cattle live in Reed City, Michigan. I have been with North Central since about 2003, and I've worked on the board here and I worked on all sorts of committees and stuff like that. So been around a while and currently I'm serving as their ACA rep. So we have, for head acres, we have about 9 animals currently. Our focus is on breeding the best animals we can possibly get as far as structure and milking, feet, you know, the whole show. That's our goal, is just to get the best animals we can get. So thank you all for coming today. It's awesome to see so many faces.
Bonnie and Galen Shresky, we're from Crocus Hill Cattle in Max, North Dakota. And we have 4 adult children and all of them are involved in our Highland business. We're old cattle breeders, but fairly new to the Highland industry. We started our registered herd in 2021. And our primary focus is to raise premier breeding stock. Still back to Denver, Fred. And so we just really enjoyed the genetic side of it and learning all of the intricacies of it.
I also still have Denver credit, so I might have to Rose Wendinger, Caro, have a little identity crisis going on. Most of you know me as Rose Wendinger under Fluffy Butt Farms. Recently married, so took on the Rose Caro and then now our Caro Cattle Company. Out of St. James, Minnesota, which is right on the south central border down by Iowa down there. We're primarily crop farmers. So in 2018, 2019, when I came onto the farm, I had a dairy background, came onto the farm, saw a feedlot with lots of grass hay. So put in new waters, jumped right into registered stock. Thankfully got started with Flatlanders and they've been amazing. I think we have a group chat that's almost monthly, mentoring me. Do a little bit of showing. This is my niece Beth. She usually I'll tag along for some junior shows. This year I'm gonna try to dial in my goals for structure and breed sake. So I'm gonna get more into doing some embryo. I love my older cows that I have. I know them, so I'm gonna do some embryo work with them so we can keep them on the farm and move forward.
I'm Becky Silva and Amber, Keith, Loretta, and Brad with me today. We've had Highlands about 30 years. It started as the cute little things and we raised them for beef. Then my kids wanted to show. So we started in a little bit more of the showing. We've been a member of North Central since about 2018. When Loretta got more involved with those shows that are more local. We've had, I don't know, we've had a lot of cows over the years. We're about 50 is about the average we run right now. We just spent our 2nd year over Cattlemen's Congress. It's a good place to go. We really enjoyed that. We'll keep going. I don't know. Bretta's she started her own farm. She owns almost half our herd right now. She's got BLS livestock. She's been showing independently since she was 4 years old.
Wow.
Showed her own little calf. Now she does a lot bigger stuff. But she has fun with it and for all of them. We've got 4 other adults. But we've had a lot of fun in the Highlands. I think they'll always have a place on our farm. Oh, yes, Fred says make sure everybody knows we're grass fed and keeping them true.
Dennis Brown, I have been Ridge Cattle. I joined in 2020. I have about 40 animals. I just got some farm technology days and run something. Usually it's a cow calf pair that gets exhibited. Represents the most central breed group. Is on vocational grazing. Also do some direct marketing, quarters and halves. Have some breeding stock. This past year, I also did a joint venture with Glory Oaks Farm and their daughter Harper. She had a heifer of mine did fairly well. ended up doing rather well down to Congress to Rocky K, her daughter wanted copper, so he's the that, and there'll be more elections in the future.
I'm Holly Bell, mom of that, Township Chrysler. We have Forge Girls Farm. We got our first house in 2016 from, Sean Bowden, 14 acres and flatland for all of your school. We're in Fertile, Wisconsin, which is about an hour and a half south of here. We have 80 to 100-ish head, depending on the time of year. We do cow calf and then sell beef direct. We some half and whole, and then have been doing more and more off of our farm stores by cut. And we've been members since 2016 of ACA and Mosenta. Thank you all. That's awesome. Thank you. I'm so happy you're all here. And I think that, since we've all introduced ourselves, we can check off the, proof of quorum, because we've all joined here today. Next, I have to cover the proof of notice of our meeting. So somehow y'all found out that we were getting together. It was posted on Facebook, social media multiple times. It was in the book feed, a couple issues, and hopefully we've all had your email and got an email as well. So, did everybody get a packet of today's agenda? Okay, if you don't, raise your hand and Sherry or Pastor can get you a copy. In this packet, there are, minutes from the 2025 meeting. And if you want to review them, this can be what we accomplished in 2025 and where we come today. That's great. This time, I need someone to motion to approve the moving 2025. I've got Jamie and then Vito Wilson. Now we get to jump right into the report. So as president, I'll kick off our officer report. As I was reflecting on what I wanted to say today, I remembered several conversations I had with Michelle Laforno as we prepared for our election. And we really discussed that we wanted to be a team as president and as vice president. We weren't in this alone, we were doing it together. We discussed our hopes and what we wanted to focus on, what was it to both of us, and how we were going to accomplish it in a year term. And it was and is still very important to both of us to focus on giving back to the membership. I think that was really our driving purpose. While also protecting the integrity of the Highland breed and representing North Central to the best of our ability. Our goals match the North Central mission statement, which basically says, which it does say, the North Central Highland Cattle Association shall protect the integrity and sustainability of the Highland breed by promoting education and social interaction of its members. Pretty good. I am really proud to say our board members have done exactly that. As I say your name, please stand up. Vice President Michelle Latorno, Director Jeremiah Muse, Jesse Webb, who is here today, Todd Green, along with guidance from our non-voting board members, Secretary Randy Johnson, Treasurers Julianne Motis and Jenny Green, and our North Central Representative Jan. They have all gone above and beyond in their dedication to North. Between participating in the monthly board meetings, other North Central committee member meetings, national committee meetings, and their day-to-day lives, they have been dedicated and kept North Central at the forefront of their mind. They have brought a multitude of different opportunities back to the association, much to the advantage of you, our members. I've said it before, I'm going to continue to say it because it's true. I am really proud of this board and the work that they have done. We have accomplished so much and it's been a privilege to be part of it.
With that being said, I'm not reporting on the committee meeting or committees. They've done the work. You're gonna hear it from them. And it's been a fabulous year for North. There's been a lot of progress in many different areas of the association. And I'm really excited that you're gonna get to hear from the committees themselves today. So with that being said, let's hear from Randy, our secretary.
Okay, as secretary, I track membership, and our membership continues to grow. In 2005, we ended up with 208 member farms, up 70% in 7 years. Most of our farms are in Minnesota and Wisconsin, so we are growing. We continue to grow, especially in Iowa. So that's kind of exciting that we see that. But we have farms that are members from all over the country. We have a program of sponsorship where you can sponsor a new farm for half the price. And we want to recognize the farms that have done that last year. Finding Self Farms, South Florida, Flatbed Farms, and Little Houses Farm. And so that's something we'd ask members to consider. If you know people that are new to Highlands or even old to Highlands and just haven't connected with the network, we encourage you to sponsor it. All right, renewals for this year are coming in at a pretty good pace. We have about 150 so far that have renewed. If you haven't, if you so are mine, you can come back and see me and take care of it. I've got the forms here. One of the things that you'll hear this morning is about the work of the committees, and North Central is only as successful as our volunteers that are willing to put in the time. So as you listen to these reports, think a bit about whether you might be able to offer something. I have these nice forms that I'm going to start passing around so people can sign up for committees throughout the day to think about what these various committees work on. We hope you'll consider signing up, and you can sign up for more than one. Yes. Next, we have treasure. Amy?
Okay, before I give my treasurer's report, I want to thank Julianne for her time as treasurer. I took over just after the show and sale this year, and she mentored me fairly quickly. I think we got it, but she was a great help. If it would have just been thrown at me, and I would have had to look at the QuickBooks and the Weebly and the square money coming in and all that stuff without some guidance, it would have been too tough. But she did a great job, very organized. And I was surprised to stay as organized as she was. So you will find, you'll find a copy of the budget and kind of the summary of the year in your packet. Not going to go through it line by line. And we'll be talking, as Randy said, the different committees, but I will point out a couple things. On the sale was, both sales were very successful this year, bringing in almost or over $11,000 in profit to the association. And our show also was very successful this year, and I'll talk about that a little later, but yeah, we've actually made some money on the show, so bringing some money into the association so that we can continue to do the programs that we've done. If anybody has any questions as you look through this, I'll be here today and we can chat, but I don't want to take any more time. What's next? Committee reports?
Correct.
Jan.
Jan is our author.
Good morning again.
The first thing I want to do is explain to everybody what ACA is. I know some of you probably are familiar with the fact that you need to register your animals through them and that kind of thing. But ACA consists of not just that office staff, it's a board of directors. And those directors are regional representatives, which I am for North Central. And there's at-large directors that are just chosen from all over the US to work on the board. They consist of an executive board of president, vice president, treasurer, secretary, and I believe we have appointed assistant secretary they call. So, the office staff, there's 4 in the office staff now. I think 2 are full-time and 2 are part-time, if I remember correctly, because the Highland breed is growing so rapidly, they had to do some serious expansion. And with ACA, there's so many committees and subcommittees and things like that, that there's always a chance for everybody to get involved. What ACA does do is it helps keep the breed integrity. ACA meets quarterly, so 4 times a year we have meetings, and there's always emails flying and things like that. And the committees that work with ACA usually meet monthly or as needed, depending on the basis. But they keep the breed integrity. They do that through science. They're studying genomics and DNA. They have administration where they take care of the finances, the registrations, legal and governance and stuff like that. They promote the breed as best they can, and they try to figure out ways to help breeders promote their animal sales through beef as well as breeding and through shows. They also, you'll see the communications, digital, what do they call it? Digital marketing, communications, they handle website and education committees. There's so many things in ACA that you can get involved in. What ACA does not do is govern over regions. They don't settle regional disputes. They don't step into the regions in any way. And they don't settle disputes between the breeders. Now, me serving as an ACA rep, my job is to serve the best interests of this North Central and the breeders in the North Central region. I represent those members on the ACA board by voting and doing my committee work. I act as a liaison between North Central and ACA. I communicate to the North Central board after the ACA meetings, or at least try. Bring to North Central's attention any situations or problems that can affect our region currently or in the future. And currently I work on the nominations committee, which is what they call an ad hoc committee. We meet as needed. Sale committee. So you might have heard about the sale in Denver, and the education committee as well as ethics. So that's what I'm doing with ACA. So the past year, ACA has been updating bylaws. They've picked out some new committee chairs because some of them had to retire. Thank you, Mark. And they've elected some new board members. Ginny Green was recently elected as the executive secretary, and John McLaughlin was appointed as her assistant secretary. He's there for legal expertise. John is I believe he's a retired lawyer, and he helps guide with the bylaws and any legal issues that pop up. There's been an election of new board members, new ACA board members. Josh Krentz, Kelly Morrison, and Pat White are all on the ACA board now. Let's go into the committees. The website, ACA has financed a new website platform. Y'all may have seen that online. And the idea is for easier navigation and to update some current functions, as well as the ability to expand, and eventually maybe sell like ACA merchandise and a few other things on that line. So if you have any further questions, you can talk to Randy Johnson. I believe she's over there on the digital committee. And Bruce Schmitz, he's also a North Central member, and I believe he runs that. He runs that, right? Yeah. You just make sure. I don't use I like to write things down. So, going through my notes here. This year, they're beginning a new advertising campaign, so you're going to begin to see some information on that in 2026. with the goal again of expanding sales and breeding animals as well as beef. The Genomics Committee is working on different ways to compile breed data, like EPDs. They're talking about the NT821 and other breed attributes and how to measure all that stuff. So it's kind of cool. We are exploring options on breed data with other countries. And for more questions or information, again, you can talk to Mark Johnson or Josh Prince. The show committee has approved some new shows for the upcoming year. You're going to see new shows in Tennessee at the State Fair. And you're going to see a couple of new shows out in Washington, the NCHCA, so the Northwest Highland Cattle Association Regional Show and the Central Washington Fair. And there's going to be a new show at the Oregon State Fair in Salem, Oregon. The sovereign and market animal shows continue to remain small, so the show committee is looking into that and working on that and trying to figure out ways to expand that. Most of the current shows that we've seen, they're all holding steady in size. The national show in Denver was pretty large this year. I believe it was the largest breed show in Denver completely. And if you know that, they show a lot of breeds out there, but ours was the biggest.
Wow.
I believe the overall facility was received well. I was hoping nobody would come home with a Denver crud. Apparently there was some that did. So the really cool thing out there is that the show ring is huge now and they've got carpet instead of sawdust and stuff. There was some glitches installing and things like that, I heard. But the Northwest, the National Western Stock Show is exercising more control over the show entries as well as stalling and stuff. So the show committee is having to not guide as much. National Western is taking over more of that. This year, the entries in the national show were way up. It was, Randy told me there was 227 animals after scratches that showed out there. Pretty cool. And there was some discussion this year on the ACA board regarding the banquet fee. It was $125. Several more board members have volunteered. They're going to look into some type of corporate sponsorship to defer the cost. So next year, hopefully, it'll be a little bit less expensive and everybody can attend. I'm working on the national sale. And if you heard this year, we made over $1 million on the national sale. Our goal as the National Sale Committee is to increase the value of your ACA registered animals and provide genetics from all over the U.S. to everybody, as well as from other countries. The sale is for ACA members and it benefits all the breeders. We've had to the last couple of years because there's been so many entries and for the last time and things get a little stale after 4 hours. We've had to limit our entries, so we've been limiting and we've been talking about how to limit some of the entries and the criteria for doing that without trying to pick, just certain genetics. We're trying to get genetics from everywhere. So we've had to cut down on some people and we've let more people in, and it's a deal. I just wanted to let you know that the donations, for this, we've limited criteria for lots, but that money does not go into ACA coffers. A lot of that are donations that go to the ACA juniors. The Sarah Balmforth Scholarship. She is a junior that was out on the East Coast whose life was tragically cut short. And some of it even goes to the Highland Cattle Foundation, and you can talk to Mark Schultz about that. Or Cindy Lieberman, because I believe she's on that committee too. Even 1 year, some of the proceeds went to ALS. Like I said, in 2026, this year, our sale pulled in over $1 million, and the viewership online was from multiple countries like Mexico and Australia, as well as Canada, New Zealand, everywhere. There was a bunch of other countries. And the average sale for the female, the average cost for the female was $19,425, $9.35. Very similar to last year. The average bull this year was $35,500. $35,500. I need some water. Again, reminding that the sale proceeds do not go to ACA, they go to, we charge consignor fees for the sale expenses, the facilities, the auctioneers, the online presence, catalogs, ring stewards, etc. There's a lot of money that goes out. ACA does not see it all. And some of it even goes toward next year's sale. I'm open to hearing any feedback or any questions on the sale. This year, ACA's had an ethics issue, and that's been dealt with and resolved. ACA's finances, they're currently holding steady. They're doing pretty good. There's some reports available. I've got some. You can talk to Jenny, and you can talk to pretty much anybody on the ACA board. They can give you those numbers. The projections from the finance committee have been a little bit dire. There's a strong possibility of depletion of reserves within the next few years, and so because several things have risen up that were unforeseen a few years ago. There's been that website update, which cost a little bit. There's been some copywriting and trademarking of the herd book and registration, because we all have to be aware of scammers and things like that, so we need to protect the integrity of our herd book. And there's also been a huge increase in the membership. Like I said, the office had to expand and get 2 more people on board there. So there's also a projected increase in insurance premiums and an increase in the genomic studies. So to help defer some of the expenses, you're going to see a change in dues coming, but it's been 17 years since the last time any dues were changed. So it's due. The finance committee has suggested that, and ACA is probably going to go with that. So you're going to see that coming, but the finance committee is also reviewing expenses to see where they can cut. They're very aware of their responsibility and have done a super good job of keeping finances under control throughout the past several years. The nominations committee, there's a ballot of at-large directors with the membership. And like I said before, the new at-large directors are Josh, Pat, and Kelly Morris. And then this year it was my pleasure to induct Mark Johnson into the Hall of Fame. And Randy Johnson is member of the group. So let's get to the happy fellows of our leaders. That is all I have.
So next up, we're going to hear from the show committee, and Cindy Green representing them.
Okay, so our committee members are listed in the report that's in your packet, but first I want to do a big thanks to Melinda Cowell, who she was the show chairman for 8 years and did a great job of organizing the show each year. And the last couple of years, I think at least added a few more members to the committee, and but she kept things going. Going forward in 2026, Jessie Webb will be the show chair. She has a committee, Katie and Kyle, Todd and myself, Randy, and we are looking for Cindy, but we are looking for additional people who would like to be part of the show committee, especially if there's anyone that wants to come down to the show, wants to help run the show, but may not think they're going to bring cattle this year. We could really use help for Jessie, like that show day, answering questions and being part of the team. So if you don't volunteer, I've got a couple ideas, and we'll be hitting you up. So so the 2025 show was held in September at the Mower County Fairgrounds in Austin, Minnesota. This is the first year that we had the junior show a separate day. So we showed the juniors on Friday and did showmanship. And then on Saturday was the open show followed by the sale. In the end, as I said in my treasurer's report, we did have a profit this year. So we had a lot of great sponsorships and that really helped out our bottom line with the whole show. So exciting news going forward. The 2026 show and forward, we will be moving to the Steele County Fairgrounds in Owatonna, Minnesota. Katie, Todd, myself, and Jesse went over and visited the fairgrounds. They've been very interested in us coming over there. Melinda kind of started that conversation a couple years ago, I understand. A really nice facility. And so this past week, the show committee made a decision that we would be moving there. One of the reasons for moving is that at Austin, we could not guarantee which week we were going to have our show. So sometimes it was the second week, sometimes it was the third week. There's been times in the past where it ran into another show that actually North Central sponsored at the time. So with this, the show will be September 11th and 12th, so the second weekend, I guess is how we would say it, in September. And that's the week that will be our standing week moving forward. So we won't be bumped by the Faro show, the sale that is always ahead of us at Austin. The facilities are fairly new. I don't know exactly, but very nice facilities. They have a brand new, and they call it the Saloon, but it is just a really cool banquet facility, wedding venue, whatever you want to call it. And that's where our banquet will be. We don't, like I said, we made this final decision on Wednesday night, so I don't have a lot of details, but watch our website, the North Central website, as we roll out the details for the show and sponsorship. One other thing, going back to last year's show, we started, for the first time, we used Showman app. Randy Johnson did a tremendous job of setting that up. And I will tell you, we go to a lot of shows, and I just did my Southeast entries, and I'm like, where are the group classes? Oh, we don't have them on there yet, so I'll have to go back in. Randy didn't let us open that thing up until it was right. And as a person who shows a lot, that is much appreciated because it was organized, it was easy. We added our sponsorships to it, which made it really easy for the exhibitors to go in when they're making their entries. Oh yeah, I can sponsor a class, I can sponsor a banner. And so that really helped our sponsorships this year. Again, we'll have some new details coming on the show, sponsorship opportunities, and hopefully some fun new promotional items as we move into the 2026 show. Thank you.
Next up, we have the Mayor Committee report, and unfortunately, Kate could not be here today. They had a family funeral to attend, so please keep the Kate family in your thoughts. They lost their father and bless. So Casey would like to share that for the junior committee, it was a year of growth. The junior show went well, as we heard from Ginny just now, with 24 juniors attending with 33 animals. Officers were awarded the North Central Highland Cattle Association vest for being consistent in group calls and their involvement with the junior committee. They held a raffle of a beautiful Highland quilt made by the one and only Julianne Modis, which raised $2,500. You didn't see it, it was gorgeous. Look at the website. One of a kind. The Junior of the Year award for 2025 was awarded to Loretta Semler, who's here today. The juniors have made changes to their timeline of junior activities that are held throughout the year, and they're looking forward to more collaborations as a group in 2026. There is a North Central Junior group on Facebook, so we'll look into that if you want more information on their timeline. And the junior officers for 2026 are President Lauren Howell, Vice President Kate Tate, Secretary Treasurer Nikki Schmidt, and the book beat reporter is Shaylin Howell.
Our next committee report will be delivered by Ms. Warno on the fifteenth.
All right, so the book beat committee, consists of Julianne Modis has been the editor. We've added on, Julie Sharp this last year and, myself and Maureen. And so we produce quarterly, so I'm not actually gonna read my report to you, just because not only do you have it in front of you, but you also have that quarterly that you read through, and it's basically what my report with the summary of. However, I am gonna take my time. I am gonna solicit submissions. So if you look at the backside of my report, you see a little call for action. The hoof beat is driven by content. And if you have ever had a story on your farm where you said, hey, it worked, or, you know, that was a disaster. That is good content. And you don't have to be Shakespeare. You don't have to write, you know, beautiful prose. Just get some content written, get it to us. We'll work with you to get it perfected, and we'll get it out. Anything funny, you can write a poem, you can write, you know, anything. It works. Got a cartoon? Submit it. So that's my call. Please submit. We have some exciting things planned. I spoke with somebody this morning that might be helping us out with some content. So stay tuned. It's going to be exciting. Thank you.
Josh Prince is sunning himself someplace tropical, I've been told, so I'm going to have him here, my muse, to bring over sales.
Start down other stuff.
We had 2 sales, sale, had the pro sale in March, which generated about 63,000 in sales, so it turned out pretty good. The top straw was $2,100 and the top embryo was 50. So that was exciting. We also did the female to fall sale in conjunction with the show, which I think went a little bit smoother this year than last year with the live sale. Cattle went through the ring, so I think it's being real exciting for everyone there. There was 16 heads, so then as they told about 160,000 in sales there. What do we have planned? So 2026, we have those to sale coming up this spring. Consignments are open for that. If you want to sign up, you can do it online, or Randy has paperwork in the back with her. And then we will be having the fall sale for the female fall in, I guess it was on now, on 12th of September. So, look for that. Just kind of a side note, we are still thinking about doing the bull test sale. We were planning on May 26th, but plans changed. We're still looking for a feed off that take us. So, there's still work on that. So hopefully someday we'll get something figured out and we'll connect it.
Next up, we have Randy Johnson with the Digital Marketing Committee.
Hey, so marketing, the full report is on before seeing in the packet. I'm not gonna go through the detail, but just our website, we have 2 websites, one for our sales and one for Business Central generally. Traffic to the website is stable. The thing that drives people to the website is classified ads. For those of you that don't know, we provide free classified ads to any members, and that goes on the website. It's a Facebook post
and we push an email out to all members. And that is really well used by our membership. We always encourage people to think about that, on our animals. Facebook continues to expand in terms of how we communicate with folks. And Maureen, Matt, and Sherry Hughes has stepped up to help manage Facebook. Last year, on the website, we did change the way we list members to be in map form rather than having a listing. Our hope was that that would reduce the amount of scammers and spammers and that sort of thing. I don't know that it did, but we tried by taking away, you've got just your city and not your street address. So hopefully it's done that. And we also last year worked to put together a member survey, which is still in process. But we want to recognize Paul Harvey's not here today. He really took the lead on that. So hopefully we'll be able to bring you some results maybe. Upcoming for the next year, we very likely doing a total revamp on the website and later in the meeting. Any questions?
You wanna do your drawing for the survey now? You can do that. Piggyback on that.
So as Randy mentioned, we did a member survey this year to try and learn more about our members and how we can help our members. And we offered 3 prizes. One of them is a calendar. So even if the member is not here, we can get them the calendar. The other was your membership, North Central Highland Cattle Association. And then there's a free advertisement in the minute. So good luck to you all.
Yes.
So the calendar is going to Casey Pate. Randy, are we feeling over that? The membership is going to Highland Acres in Pace, Nebraska. Here, I think they're here today. And the free advertisement is for a penny cook at Starbuck Farms in Janesville, Wisconsin. I don't think they're here today either.
But they might be online, you don't know.
Yeah, it could be.
Well, congratulations to them and thanks everybody for your info on that survey. And feedback.
I am the calendar committee chair. I'll give that report. You guys have it, so I can serve some time and not read it either. We did increase our calendars to 200. We still have some for sale. And I've made the judgment call to reduce them to $20 rather than the 22 since you're here. You can take it home today. Randy has the calendar submissions open. The calendar committee is ready to get geared up and going again for there's 4 photos of per farm. And they're due by March 15th. And then we'll vote on them as an association and reveal the winner around April 5th. Are there any other questions about the calendar? All right. So there are a few events that take place where North Central is represented. So I'd like to call Dennis Brenneman for Farm Technology Days to speak about that.
Here though, we've got the Farm Technology Day, it's just held in the Patrick County, August 5th through the 9th. It's hosted by the Clinton family out of Bear Creek, Wisconsin. This year, Windermere Farms, operated by John and Dan Proctor, provided Hazel, which is a helicopter, the North Central Highland Cattle exhibit for. She has been well traveled and had a short model career. She's also on the cover of a book on Amazon called Farm Life, Collection of Portraits of Animals. There was
some decent traffic Tuesday, Wednesday, maybe Thursday, like the still from previous years in the past. Going forward, the 2026 Farm Technology Days events will be held July 14th and 16th in Marathon County. Close proximity to Marshfield, I believe. It is hosted by the Zotskis, No Joke Dairy in Stratford, Wisconsin. I would also like to take a moment. So this is going on. Wisconsin Farm Technology in 2025. And Proctor, Gene and Richard, Gina and Todd, Jesse Brown. There will also be sign sheet and you'd like to help or participate for 26. That's all I have.
The next event would be the Minnesota State Fair. It's Mark Schultz, and I'll just talk about the Highland Foundation.
Like everybody else, I'm not gonna go through what Jamie wrote, a very detailed, description of what we do up at the Minnesota State Fair, but just to highlight, as they do other years, is it's a 12-day event. We're there for 13 days. When we go in the day early, there's about, as far as fair attendance, there's almost 2 million people that attend that fair. We asked this year if they ever had a count on how many get through the booth area, which is where we're stalled at. And they figured about 500,000, so it'd be about 500,000 people go through our area.
Wow.
Some days it feels like we talked to every one of those people, but I would like to highlight, the fact that we did have 36 volunteers help Amy and I over those 12 days. And that's good. And, that came and helped, and, like Jamie wrote here, even if it's, an hour, you can spare an hour, it helps us get away from the hustle and bustle for a little bit. We actually stay in we have a living portion from our trailer, and so we stay right on the grounds. The exception is every 4 days, we clear out, get in another Hellcat fair, so. Also this year, which was new, was the manager of the booth area, who we developed a great relationship over the years. They redid some of their promotional materials, and they actually incorporated Highlands into those promotional materials.
Wonderful.
As far as economics and, everything promoting our food. So, that was a great thing to see. So anything, any questions? We'll be doing it again this year. So, I was a little worried about getting enough volunteers last year, but like I said, we was up for 36, so that's a great number. Don't feel like you have to know a lot about cattle or Highlands or anything. You will be able to, you know what a cow is, you're a leg up on most of the people that are.
I don't know what that says about Minnesotans.
I actually had one somebody where you're from. I said, well, if you walk around the farm.
You'll see. Hang out here for a while.
Anyway. Highland Cattle Foundation, that is a 501c3 organization that is kind of a subset, separate from ACA. We are our board, which Cindy is part of. We are approved by the ACA board, but we are funded for breed preservation, education, junior scholarships, and grant proposals for anybody that has research they want to do. We have not done one in quite a few years as far as research. The last one was our beef marketing research through the University of Missouri. But we're always open to hear for people projecting research studies that we can fund.
I'm sorry, Mark, to interrupt. Wally was talking the other day. Is that
something that you guys are starting. He was, where was he talking? Where did he say he was going, Vinny? She's got the notes.
Remember, I wrote them.
As far as a research project,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, I haven't seen anything materialize yet out of any of those. There's a lot that are talked about, but until we get something in front of us, it's.
Some personal stuff.
It's not an issue until we see something.
Part of it didn't pass.
Oh, okay. All right. So maybe something on the horizon. Any questions on the foundation? We do take donations. So, and we also have genetics that have been, donated to the foundation, and we sell those, yeah, on the sale, that Jane was talking about. So that has helped us tremendously in the last few years to raise money, other than the donations we get once a month. Thanks.
There was another event that was held this year that, not on your agenda, but, invited Pete up here to talk about the Iowa State Fair with him.
Okay, first, I just want to second, the kids and I went up to the new booth this year for the first time, finally. And I will say, Mark's not kidding when you don't need to know a lot about cows. Kate learned the story of why one of the cows had kind of a wonky shaped horn, and I'm pretty sure he told that story to no less than 35 people. He still talks about it today, but I know why her horn. So you can just kind of go all in on your story, but so I've been asked to talk about our Iowa State Fair. A little bit different from the Minnesota State Fair. The Minnesota State Fair is very much about showcasing the Iowa breed, talking to people. The Iowa State Fair in reality is just another show. It was added as ROE show with ACA for the first time in 2025. All of that credit and work goes to Carrie Nissen. So she is not here today, but I don't even want to know how many hours she spent talking with the Iowa State Fair Association. I'm pretty sure she called every single Highland breeder in the state of Iowa and asked them to come to the show. So we did end up actually, right, about 30, and so made it a go for our first year at the state fair last year. They were super excited. The stands were packed, and they have asked us to come back again. So we'll be back. The show itself is going to be August 21st. So if anyone's interested in showing, it is a little bit more of a commitment than just a standard North Central show. We do have to be there for 4 days. So we move in on a Thursday, aren't released until Sunday. The show itself is Friday. So 1 day of showing, a whole lot of talking to people, a whole lot of answering questions. I believe one of the juniors that was showing there, we kind of made a joke, oh, we should charge money for how many photos get taken with our animals. She had a sign that said $5 for a photo. People paid it. That's an awesome story going. It was a lot of fun. Lots and lots of people go through that barn. Got to talk to a lot of people about our animals. So if you are interested in picking up a show for this year, highly encourage to think about Iowa State Fair. Barry does a great job organizing that. We kind of stepped into that for a little bit as far as the association as well. Since it is a rather nice close to home show right here for our association. So.
Thank you. So the board has some old news that's kind of new news for all of you or both of you, and we're very excited about this. So I'm going to invite Tony Letourneau back up here to share something that we've been working on.
So I was approached this year, for those of you who don't know, I'm a professional illustrator and designer, so that's my my day job. And so a lot of the graphics you'll see with the association and work on naturally with the stuff. But there was a couple things that came up this year. We had some needs of updating some of our graphics on some of the banners. We've had it for a number of years, and they just need updating. But then also we have a show that we wanted to raise the profile of the show a little bit. And our original logo, which has served us well, as we get into doing more and more embroidery on things, we ran into problems with colors. The how itself is just hard to embroider, so we needed to simplify it. So the board had asked me late in the summer to start looking at a possible rebrand. So Michelle, if you want to hit that forward key, you'll see this is the proposed brand. Well, I shouldn't say proposed. This is the brand the board has accepted. And so I'll just point out a few things that I wanted to really highlight, which is we're a maternal breed, and I really wanted to showcase that. So that's the pairing of the cow cap up there. And the North Star, I just think is a natural tie into our location. So if you want to hit it again, this is some different ways you're going to see this used this next year. And this is what Randy was alluding to as we start working on the website, some of the ways this brand will be used this year. It's not just going to be that base brand, but you'll see some swag and stuff that will show this brand. And then I'm also happy to announce the new show, Wakana, is going to be branded as the North Star. Incorporating the same brand, we're also want to tie in juniors with it, so the juniors will have their own brand as well. So with that, I know Michelle and Maureen are going to pass out some swag bags.
Stay here?
Yeah, we're good on that.
Okay.
And everybody will get a little sticker in there and some little goodies for you to take home. And then we have some other gear that has the new brand on it that will be on the table back there for people to add the raffle tickets to. We have some Carhartt bags and a North Face bag and some hats. So good luck, y'all.
Please come up to the table and take a look at the hats, Carhartt duffel bags, backpack. These will now be available in the raffle. So if you haven't bought raffle tickets yet, you might want to take a look at this, or if you did already buy some, you might want to buy this. We're all
That's right, yeah. Yeah. Drill a hole in it, put it on your keychain. You can also probably make them into earrings, I would guess.
We do have a few extras, so if someone's not here that lives nearby to you and you want to get them a bag, just let us know. We can make it happen. In honor of the meeting going, I'm gonna we visit. We do have two positions that we are voting on elected today. I have to ask for nominations 3 times. So the first position we're looking at is a board of director position. I Green served 1 year. We're renewing him, but if anybody else has another nomination, now is or nominate they'd like to nominate. Now is the time to do that. In your packet, there were bios listed for Todd. He is part of Midlake Pilot. Todd, do you wanna
stand up and say anything about your role as director and why we should reelect you?
Because I was told by the board I had to do It'll be short, sweet meeting.
Are there any other nominations? For our for our director on the board? Go for it. Don't everyone speak up that way. It's a monthly commitment. Once a month you meet with the board. You ask if you're on a committee. So that you can help keep us informed. So anybody that likes to nominate yourself or a significant other, feel free. Since there are no additional nominations, I declare that Todd has been elected with acclamation for a.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, Todd. So the next elected position is our Ocker representative. We heard from Jan, she shared a lot of information with us on how important her that position is with the National Committee. Jan served her term and is also looking to renew. Her bio is also on that little added sheet. Are there any other nominations for an Ocker representative? I'm gonna ask 3 times, so. We're looking for nominations for an Ocker representative. Last call, any other nominations?
Stretch it out, there's gotta be somebody.
All right, there are no additional nominations. Congratulations, Jan. I have. Really good with my explanation. At this point, I would like to ask you, our members, if there's anything you would like to bring on to the board that you would like us to focus on for the 2026 year, something that's happened this previous year, 2025, that you want to bring to our attention. You talk to any of us. There's something you care about that you want us to address. Now is the time to speak up. Today's your day. Well, not really anything, but today's really big day. Hi, you got anything to say?
We'll keep them off, so.
Okay. All right. I guess we don't have any new business. With that being said, I need, going to move to adjourn our meeting and I need a second. Okay, Julianne, second. We're gonna take a brief break. There's snacks and water and coffee in the hallway. You can purchase more ranch raffle tickets with Sherry and Perry in the back or Michelle. Remember, we added the brand new branding items that are back there, so make sure you get in on those. So when we come back, we'll hear from our guest speaker, Darcy. I could say 11, maybe 10 to 5 after, we should be good right around. If anybody did not spend the night, there are key cards that you need to use to get into the restroom. They are located by the main entrance into our conference room here, so make sure you have a key in order to go to the bathroom.
We're gonna be probably 11:15 before he gets going.
Yes, so let's see. At 10:40 now.
She
We
said
back
11,
at
10.
11.
Well, I said 10, 11, and she said, oh,
So
maybe
why don't
10
we do
after.
this? Why don't we have him, if he has from 11 to 12?
Right.
Why don't we, when we get back, do a drawing? And
Yep.
then why doesn't he just do a little intro?
We're gonna do a little intro for John, what we're gonna do with North Price.
Yeah, yeah. And then he'll have a shortened morning time. Let's have him do a little. Yes.
We have all that.
So let's just tell him to take us to noon with a little brief,
Yeah.
and then we'll have lunch, and then we'll come back and get into it.
Perfect.
We'll probably have, so if we, let me get my time straight again. So if we come back at 11:15 to do a drawing, feel like have maybe half hour, 40 minutes.
Right.
Because you get it yourself.
Is that today? In the.
Like if you're the one buying.
The Harry Bar. Yeah, well, one of ours is.
My wife's AI.
Yeah. I've heard that's about my
Could you make me one page anywhere, put up there, that has the URL for.
Yes, yes. Yep.
That way, anybody with a laptop can see some.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Huh.
Or,
All right,
they
let's
want to do it on the phone.
make sure I got the. Minimize. Minimize. Minimized. Which one did you want? The 0326 one?
Just so we can put it up there.
Exactly, yeah.
What she wants me to do is like a short, we talk.
Yeah, yeah.
Short
Yeah.
talk and then we'll do the other stuff.
I could maybe set it up as a QR code if it's helpful for him, but I could do that.
But
I could do it.
doing that, it's fine. I did that, I did it for my, when I was at a sale one time, I made QR codes.
It's actually fairly easy if you
Yeah.
have access to the stuff that you need to do it.
Cause then I just had a poster with the picture and then the QR code, right? You can scan it and then go to this
Yep,
website.
that's pretty much it.
How are you, Jan?
In the dream, John, but you.
Someone's gonna be mad at me. You say that. Did you go to Denver? You must have gone to Denver. You have to go to Denver because you're on the board.
Yeah, the new facilities out there, crazy.
Did you have anything in the show?
Not in the show, no. I put some salmon in the sale.
Yeah, I saw the.
Yeah.
How'd that do?
Keep looking on the show. That was some of the criteria.
Yeah,
I didn't have anything to show. I feel as though at the moment.
it's a big commitment.
Yeah, it is.
Like 109, class 109,
Yeah,
there was 3 parts to it. I
did they
mean,
split it?
well, there's A, B, and C,
Yeah,
right? So there's like, there must have been 40 animals in that class, right? So if you got a heifer and you're in that class, you're like. And there's 4-star lake heifers in that class, so. So you gotta, is it worth bringing something all the way down?
that's just it. I don't want to go to Denver unless I know I've got a good shot, at least landing in the middle.
That was always my thing.
Yeah.
In the middle of the pack.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I'm not always in the middle of the pack, at least.
I just hate being up. Absolutely hate that.
Well, when Eddie's around, you can always count if you're in his class, he's be under you because they barely watch.
Right? Right? No, I didn't get there to watch the whole entire show. I was out there with my granddaughters and my daughter. So, you know, one's a 2-year-old, one's a 7. So we had to do a little finagling to keep them interested and out of.
Where'd you stay?
At the Westchester, what is it?
Whatever the one they,
Yeah. Did you see it?
I didn't go, no. I watched online.
It was so much nicer than the Renaissance, I would tell you something.
Never stayed at the Renaissance, but I drove around there and I knew.
Yeah, so much nicer. Hot water, never lost our lights, never, nothing. It was wonderful.
Anything get stolen?
No, not that I've heard. Not that I've heard.
That was always the
Yeah,
last
this
2
is a
years.
much, it's a much nicer area. Very. And you're right around, yeah, it was much nicer, much newer area.
Was it, it's in town though, right? When you came out and you got on, 70.
Yes.
Anything else?
My GPS.
Oh, around Suicide. Yeah.
But it's a much newer area, very
Is overpass done and all that? 70? Or 70 is supposed to go under where the stock show was.
We went underneath, yeah.
They're building, the plan was they're gonna build a tunnel, and where the stock show is, instead of driving over between the arena and the stock show, that was gonna be the ground. Like 70.
I want one.
That was.
That is not, it's still the same old, yeah, like it used to be, that part, yeah, but they still have the tunnel and stuff. On the hill there.
Yeah. So it may be like, 5-year project.
They'll take
Okay.
phases.
We don't miss that.
No. Really going just to watch?
I mean, Colorado.
Oh.
I'd like to go, but have a reason, right? So perhaps something that's like worth taking. But what I found was, we just have one animal. Well, it's easy.
Easy, but it's not spending so much money. You just have to take two of one on the state.
Well, if you put something in a sale, you should be all right. I pay for everybody. But like I have this bull I've been showing around.
Yeah.
So I showed him in Austin and I showed him in Escanaba. The first time I went, Escanaba was my first show. And so he was by himself, the first time by himself. And he was I was like, oh, this was an effective. So he was freaked out. I didn't even know if I was gonna get him in the ring. And but within 2 days, he settled down and he was fine. So I was like, okay, that worked. I'll try it again, and I tried it in Austin, and by that time, they knew the team.
Yeah.
And so I found myself just every time to sit around and talk to people because I didn't do anything, right? And it's a bull, right? He was like in the later bull classes, so I just left him in the timeouts until well, I cleaned him up and whatever. But once he was washed, I put him back in the timeouts and left him there till when it was show day.
No, doggone well, he's probably happy about this.
Exactly. You don't have to use it. And so I got up early at Austin, which I shouldn't have. I figured it. And so I was like, hey, this is great. So then when we went to Congress, I had bidders. But I really didn't have anything to do. I'm doing this American Meanwhile Search over there. Carrying animals. And I'm like, trying to speak this program in.
Yeah, but it was so nice when we had the 3 bullets. Because it was just wash, you go wash, I'll dry, wherever. It got to be just
Project.
yeah, everybody knew what they were doing and then but yeah, when it was just taken.
Well, I remember leaving stock show. And we lived there, so it may have been a little bit harder. But you could go home and get the stink on. I'd take my clothes off, leave them in the garage.
Yep.
And so you get, when I stayed in the hotel, it's like that stink stuck with you all week.
Yeah.
So,
I didn't feel like, but I wasn't, but I don't think it was that much of that last year.
well, it shouldn't because it should have higher
I
ceilings.
think it was really good ceilings, there was a nice ventilation, and yeah, I don't know, there was something else that was, but not that.
I think that should help with sickness go.
I hope so.
I mean, you got the thing I've noticed about Denver compared, like we go to Congress. Congress does not get the foot traffic in Denver because it's a cattle show. It's not pigs or anything like that, horses. It's cattle. It's cattle people. So they don't have like rodeo. Right, so you don't get any of that traffic, it's all cattle. Which is, there's good things about it because there's not as many people, but you don't get. The only people that present it to you yourself.
Right.
Come over and look at it, but they're over there showing. So it's different.
And that is the hard thing about it. And there's people that just don't really cattle and they're trying to.
They're just walking up and patting them and.
So.
Exactly.
I like. So I like listening to screaming down the aisle. I mean, there was, that's when we got on it. And she's screaming and she's running down the aisle and she runs in by 6 paths. And her dog just throw their arms around the cabs. And and they're right down underneath the back. It's like, oh my God. We're all like, realize what you could have done. Thank God Sue's animals are pretty well.
Yeah.
But the screaming and the running and it wasn't just one person, it was like her and a girl. And I'm like, get back. Yeah. Yep.
Well, they're not thinking.
It's gonna be, I'm like, you need to stop and you need to back up. And she's like, you need to be so rude. I'm like, you ain't seen me.
Just getting started.
Just winding up, honey.
Well, how's Nathan doing?
He's doing well.
Did he divorce? Did he divorce?
Found out last second that he did not have to go, thank God.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was.
Where were they going?
He didn't say, and I don't know if he can.
Could have been Venezuela.
Yeah. Yeah, someplace hot, back down to Texas to, they were gonna, planning on sending him down to Texas again. So someplace hot, right?
So they didn't,
He didn't,
the whole unit didn't go, or he didn't just like?
didn't go, just certain people because of his position.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly how.
Sorry.
I was so.
Yeah, man.
I just. Just find and just, it's gonna be gone.
What was a year deployment?
He just started a new job.
They gotta take care of you there.
They do, they're really good. When he was over to Afghanistan, they were really good about, making sure he was able to stay on contact. I'll tell him, he was with someone at the time. He was able to stay in contact with his family, which is awesome.
Right, but the employment takes.
Yeah, they
That's an obligation.
yeah, you have to, if you're upfront with them, say, hey, this is what I do. When they hire you, they have to let you go and here's your job. Back.
I think most reasonable companies would do that anyway. It's a problem.
Exactly. We've got.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm gonna do some trying to keep it. Boy, I'm just discussion. Started a job. I'll have done. Gone a minute later.
Well, that's cool. They didn't have to go, but you never know, right? When's the next one?
It just, yeah, he was not supposed to for like 3 more years.
Because of the last one?
And then when he told me that, I'm like, God. No,
How do you like Afghanistan?
he was glad to come home.
Yeah.
Dirt, sail.
Was he, you know?
No, they were building airports basically out there.
Just before the withdrawal?
No. Yes. Yes. Yeah, see, when he was really ticked off that they had to leave a bunch of other stuff over there. Yeah, I think they call it horizontal construction. I'm like, okay, he goes, yeah, Mom, I dig dirt. He goes, I make things flat so they can build things up.
Because those are the morning version of the drawings.
Got a great feature too, if you wanted to do it. Or that kind of work. It's got.
And he loves it. Well, so did David, They are so much nice. Out a couple of
Oh, nice.
So let's try to get rid of them. Do you have kids? Do you have other kids? Like stars and stuff? One for the kids.
But no, I'm glad he stayed. Yeah, he was, yeah, because he's supposed to be getting married this year. And then they came up and said, well, you might be going overseas. He's like, wait a minute, You're planning on getting married this year? Didn't know if it'd be for it.
Yeah, it threw it threw a wrench into everything. I'm so glad you, I can't tell you how glad I am to go.
So how long has he been in this? It's been a while since he's using a house.
Yeah, it started like this. 8 years and he just re up for another. It's been
That's what I did. I was after reading that. So I was there for 21 years.
Yeah.
Retired before. Getting that.
Yeah.
Hey, tell Michelle that this is my responsibility.
What's that?
Still water.
Oh, don't worry about that. Oh, no. That's not your notes. That's just an agenda. Oh, that. Well, all that business part's done now, so it probably gets filed away. Yep. No problem.
All right.
All right, we're gonna do our first door prize drawing. Well, those would be the red tickets that you would have been issued when you attended.
Yeah.
Well, they get picked. They get picked. All right. All right, everybody draw your red tickets. This is the number. 937056. 937056.
My name is Dylan Sassen.
Another winner. 93702. The luckiest kid on the planet.
I think I'm home.
You won the quilt, well, yeah, didn't you win the quilt this last fall?
What did you take, Patrick?
Next winner, 937024. I told you he's the luckiest kid on the county.
Dad wants a hat.
We got 4 more items going. 93704.
Go ahead, back up. Because she's gonna be after Aka like you are. I like you. You're pretty young.
I'm too shy for them.
937054.
937-054. Somebody else in the lobby? 937-054, last call. Nine three seven zero three four. This one has a name on it. Yes.
All right. Two stupid.
Yeah, broad.
What did you get, Tina? Ooh, sticker.
937-011. Oh, there you
Get the tassels. Get the tassels. No.
go. These will be the next one. All right, the last chance.
Oh, he chose well.
Chose well.
937-046. 937-046.
Okay, we had a little bit of bad news this morning. So our afternoon speaker had, her son was in the hospital last night and had surgery that was unexpected. And so she's home being a mom. I told her that's good. So she had an extra speaker who's in her network that she was gonna call on to see if they last minute could drive to Duluth to be a speaker. So if that happens, great. But if not, we're gonna shift things a little bit. And I think it's gonna be fine either way. We'll catch her another time and maybe do a Zoom and do some full-speed article with her. So we'll get that information to you this afternoon. What we're gonna do, we're gonna do just a quick little intro with John Key. And then we're gonna go to lunch, because we're kind of shortened our morning.